my search for the deadly 60.
Amazing!
That's not just animals that are deadly to me, but that are deadly in their own world. My crew and I are travelling the planet, and you're coming with me every step of the way! This time on Deadly 60, we're in the Philippines. The Philippines is an archipelago, that is, a nation made up of thousands of islands, and an absolute paradise for deadly animals.
The Philippines is located in Southeast Asia, in the Western Pacific Ocean. It's got a little bit of everything. Sweaty jungles, to paradise coastlands, to spangly clear oceans. And every one of these habitats has contenders for my little list. First up, the crew and I are heading to one of these idyllic islands.
This place is paradise!
But these clear waters and white sands hide a prehistoric-looking, cold-blooded ninja. That animal is a water monitor lizard, close relative of the Komodo dragon, and one of the largest lizards in the world. These fearsome predators eat anything from birds' eggs on the land to fish in the sea. When it comes to tracking down a meal, they'll go to extreme lengths with the strength and skills to swim, climb and run.
It's always going to be difficult to get really close to monitor lizards out in the wild because they're naturally cautious and frightened of people. They are, however, fantastic opportunists and they'll take any chance that comes their way. So some monitors have learned to live with people and actually scavenge off what they leave behind. So, just down here is a picnic area where people come regularly, leave behind scraps. I'm hoping there might be some there. Everyone keep your eyes peeled and give me a shout if you see anything.
Water monitors need to be approached with care because they're potentially very dangerous animals.
This is a water monitor, and he's very bold indeed.
Nothing is safe from the water monitors on this island. They are enormous, and adults can grow up to 3 meters.
The weapons a monitor lizard possesses are so vicious. The tail, which is facing Johnny at the moment, is one of the first things it uses in defense. It lashes out with that tail to drive away anything that could be a potential threat. As he's moving through the leaves, tongues lashing out ahead of him. You see it's a forked tongue, just like a snake's. And what happens is, each side of that tongue is drawing in scent molecules into his mouth. And you can tell from which side has the stronger taste, the stronger smell, which direction to head towards in search of food. I'm going to sit very, very still now. Nose to nose with a living dinosaur. You see him lick his lips there. I hope that's not because he thinks I might be dinner. This is a bit closer than I would really be comfortable with. Inside that mouth is one long line of teeth that are honestly razor sharp, backwards curving, and covered with... He's tasting my face. He just stuck his tongue in my eye. This is where I start to get a little bit nervous. He can move very, very fast. From there, he can have my arm in his mouth in a second. Look at him tasting my hand. As I was saying, The mouth has razor-sharp teeth which are covered in bacteria, and those bacteria, once they actually get into a wound, once he cuts you open, will almost instantly start to become infected. Any bite from a monitor lizard is very, very serious indeed. Wow, he is utterly, utterly beautiful. There's another one. There's another one coming in from the side over there. It's almost like I've been transformed back into the land that time forgot, surrounded by dinosaurs.
They may look prehistoric, but there's nothing outdated about the water monitor. I want to show you how adaptable they are when it comes to hunting.
There are monitors absolutely everywhere. There must be 7 or 8 of them, all of them good size, within about 10-15 meters of us off in these trees. I'm going to see if I can show you some of their tricks using a yummy bit of fish head.
The first attribute I want to show you is their climbing ability.
Okay, so that's our fish in place. Let's see if our monitor will follow it up the tree. Okay. Look at that! They're like an all-terrain vehicle, just scampering up the tree in search of food. Yes! And he's got it!
He may be a top-notch climber, but he lands like a dropped pudding.
That is awe-inspiring. Here he goes again. Even at this size, he has no problem holding his body weight on a tree using those big curved talons. Wow! Okay, we've shown you them climbing, shown you them feeding. The last thing that I want to try and show you, this is a real long shot, is one of these guys actually swimming in the sea. Let's see if I can draw one down to the beach. Ready for interest?
Yes, I am actually taking a monitor for a walk. Well, a run actually.
Go to the sea!
Unlike most reptiles that can only run in short bursts, monitors can keep their foot on the gas and actually run down their prey.
He's called a water monitor lizard. Look at that, swimming using that broad tail, making him move through the water beautifully. And even underwater, the tongue is still flicking out. You can still taste even there the water monitor. Sprinting, swimming, climbing, clambering. The ultimate predator on the Deadly 60.
Water monitors are built like all-terrain vehicles. They're one of the largest lizards in the world, have infecting saliva and a killer bite. Water monitor lizards, deadly.
I'm really excited about our next deadly destination. We're heading in there. I have no real idea what lives inside that cave, but I'm very excited to find out.
We're exploring this cave system on the mysterious river that runs through it, paddling into the gloom.
This looks seriously spooky, heading into the darkness. From here on in, the river flows into total darkness. Beyond here, has never ever seen sunlight. So in order to see the animals that are living here, we're relying on torchlight.
The animals that survive in caves are highly adapted to the environment, and as a consequence, they tend to look very bizarre. One group of mammals that may spend much of their lives in caves are bats.
This place is absolutely alive with bats, all hanging from the ceiling, usually by just one tiny toe.
But I want to find something even more creepy.
So I'm going to try and go ashore and see if I can see anything. Okay. Cave crickets. Everywhere.
These crickets are the favourite food of some horrible cave hunters.
This cave floor is absolutely alive with tarantulas. I've never seen so many in my entire life. It's an arachnophobic's nightmare. Oh no! It's gone into a little hole. There he goes, out into the open. Oh, there he is. Oh, it's just struck the stick. Means it bit it with its fangs. And he's just left up. Oh, and again. That was quite an aggressive strike. If that had been my hand, that would really, really have hurt. Whoa.
Well, that one got away, but...
Doesn't matter though, there are loads of them around here. Dear me. God, they're quick. It might look like I'm being a right Jessie, but it wouldn't be ideal to get bitten right deep here in a cave. Oh, crikey. Just not having any luck today. There he goes. Got him. More by accident than design, it has to be said. This is actually one of the smallest of the tarantulas that we've seen scurrying around here, but I couldn't leave without getting a closer look at him. I mean, I think I must have seen 30 in this one tiny area.
It's hardly surprising when you see how many crickets are around, but what I really want to show you is how they hunt in the dark.
The legs and the back of the body are all covered with thousands of fine hairs, and those hairs are really sensitive. They can pick up everything from chemical scents in the air to the movement of the air to vibrations along the ground. They're a great way for this spider to find out what's going on around it and also what it needs to hunt. Okay, let me just show you how those hairs work. Any second now. Well, that normally works. It's just obviously not working today. Normally he'd run off, but I think he likes me. Okay, I wasn't intending him to run down the back of my neck. But that shows you how the hairs work.
The tarantula is a superb spider assassin, but with so many crickets around, there is a chance we might find the ultimate cave predator.
One of the most specialised cave hunting creatures you'll see anywhere in the world is this, the whip spider. Look at that. Really creepy looking monsters, aren't they? One of the most lethal hunters you'll ever see in a cave system. Look at those front legs swinging around in the air, just tapping around, sensing its environment, building up a picture of what's around it.
The whip spider is also called a tailless whip scorpion. It's actually not a spider or a scorpion, but it's still a member of the arachnid group. The front legs of the whip spider are not used for walking, but are adapted to sensing its surroundings. These bizarre legs can be 3 times longer than any of the other legs.
But the main weapons are those claws it's got clasped to the front of its head. They're armed with vicious barbs. And when it gets close to an insect, those open out, grab a hold of it, draw it in to its mashing mouth parts it has here at the front.
The whip spider feeds by using those trap-like pincers to snare an insect, and munching mouth parts to chew it up to goo. Ooh!
The whip spider is one of the most perfectly adapted creatures you'll ever see for cave environments. Perfectly adapted to life hunting in the dark.
Whip spider is on the deadly 60. With crushing mouth parts, specialised probing legs that tap around in the darkness, superbly sensitive, they can snatch a meal even when there's no light at all. Whip spider, deadly. No sooner had we paddled out of the cave into open air than the sun set and it was dark again.
These forests are pretty exciting for wildlife during the day, but at night time they get even better. And this time, shortly after dusk, is almost like rush hour for wildlife. It's just the time when everything's waking up and thinking about going out and finding food. There's one particular deadly animal that I'm, well, really hoping we'll find.
The animal we're searching for is a pangolin. Pangolins are found all over Africa and Asia. This crazy-looking armoured critter might look small, but it has unimaginable strength for its size. Pangolins are ant and termite terminators and have the ideal tools for devouring. Their strength and sharp claws mean they can easily rip open termite mounds, and they have a tongue longer than their own body. One pangolin can eat more than 70 million termites in 1 year.
Okay, so this is a termite mound. The termites create it using chewed up mud and their own saliva, and it sets rock hard. I'm going to have a go at trying to get into this. This is the kind of thing that the pangolin will break into with ease. I've got my metal snake hook here. Let's see how I do. This thing is like an absolute fortress. I'll be here all night before I get to any termites. And that is using a metal, human-made snake hook. But our pangolin scrapes it open in a matter of minutes. That's awesome.
At night, the pangolins are hunting, so this is the best chance we have to see them.
Normally wildlife watching, particularly at night, is all about moving carefully, slowly, but at the moment we're thundering through the undergrowth because the guy in front of me, who's our guide, has just had a shout from one of his friends that the exact animal we're looking for is somewhere off in this undergrowth here. And we're doing our best to try and keep up with it. Wow, there it is. Wow. This is a pangolin. It's A very unusual creature indeed. And at the moment, what it's doing is it's gone into its defensive position, which is designed to protect its soft underbelly, using these tough scales on the outside. The thick tail of the pangolin is wrapped right around the head, which is protected by all this armour, and the armour also works to protect it from its prey. It feeds on ants and termites, which have vicious bites and stings, and all of this armour helps protect it from them. At the moment, obviously, he's quite concerned that we might be a predator about to tuck into him. So what we really need to do is to back off, give him some space and give him some time, and hopefully he'll unfurl and wander off in search of a meal. And then you'll see a little bit about why this is such an astounding creature. So we're just going to sit still here for a while and just listen, see if we can hear him unfurling. Sounds like he's getting up. He's just unfurled. It looks like he's sussing out what's going on around him before he moves on. Gotta say, that is a seriously crazy looking creature. Pangolin's primary sense is their smell. They can scent ants and termites from hundreds of meters away. And now I think he's just sussing out what's going on with me and the camera crew, just raising his nose, snuffling the air, just figuring out what we are. Just see now him lifting his front leg, those curved claws, and what he'll use to tear his way into termite mounds and ant hills. He can dig through ground that is almost as hard as concrete using those. Oh, it looks like he's going to climb. He's going to go up the tree. Pangolins are fantastic climbers, and it's another way they have of escaping danger, and also of going looking for ants in the treetops. Look how he clasps the tree with those claws as he climbs. He shoves up there, clasps them that tightly. No predator's going to be able to drag him off. The pangolin, the fast climbing, ant lapping, excavating, armour plated machine, has got to go on the Deadly 60.
With super curved kitchen knife claws that are destroying termite mounds, a long tongue for lapping up termites, and scales that provide the perfect armour, our termite terminator pangolin is on the Deadly 60. The Philippines are well known for their tropical mangrove forests that connect the land to the sea, and are home to a whole host of unusual and colourful animals. Mangrove trees are unique in that they're the only trees that can survive in the salty seawater. They're the perfect cover for more dazzling animals, and I have one in mind, but it'll take some finding.
The mangroves are very much slave to the tides. When it's high tide and the water's in like now, the best way of getting around is in a boat. It means you don't have to slog through all that mud and you can cover an awful lot more distance. Let's see what we can find.
After a full day of scanning the foliage, we found our prize.
What's going on?
My stunning snake is hanging out way up in the branches. But how am I going to get it down? It's going to take a little nerve to show him to you.
Alright, I'm just going to get up there and see if I can grab it. I just need one more hand. Come on there, little fella. Ooh. Well, that was one of the hardest snake catches I've ever had, but it was well worth it, because this is the master of the mangroves, the mangrove cat snake. The reason this is called a cat snake is the eyes. It's a dark eye with a slit-shaped pupil, very much like a cat's eye. It is utterly, utterly gorgeous. I think one of the prettiest snakes on the planet. Look at those bright, bright, lurid colours, black against bright, bright yellow. It seems crazy that a snake like this could actually be camouflaged in this environment, but if Johnny gets a shot of these palms here, as the light comes down through those, you get black slats of shadow in between yellow slats of these illuminated by the sun. And actually, this snake blends in beautifully. You can see wrapped around my arm there, and as it was up in the tree, curled around that branch, that this snake is absolutely brilliant at holding itself in the trees and the branches and the twigs. And that's where it does its hunting. They'll feed on small birds and lizards. All kinds of wonderful creatures are at the mercy of this awesome, awesome little snake. The venom of the mangrove cat snake isn't particularly strong. It's not harmful to humans, but it does work very, very fast on its prey. The mangrove cat snake is not only pretty much my favourite snake in the whole world, but it is also the most colourful killer of the mangroves. It can climb, and it can also swim. I have to put the mangrove cat snake onto the Deadly 60.
With beautiful, bizarrely colourful camouflage, they ambush their prey hanging over the mangroves. And with a venom strong enough to kill birds and lizards, the mangrove cat snake is one of my favourite snakes on my deadly list. Next time on Deadly 60...